Trust is a fundamental human need. It is the invisible thread that binds us together, creating a sense of belonging and unity. It is the foundation upon which we build relationships, whether they are friendships, family bonds, or romantic connections. Trust is the feeling of confidence and security we have in another person. It is knowing that we can rely on them, that they will be there for us when we need them the most. It is the belief that they will act in our best interests, even when we are not watching. This belief is what allows us to let our guard down and be our true selves. Trust is essential for our emotional well-being. It provides a sense of stability and peace, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with confidence. It allows us to feel safe and secure in our relationships, knowing that we are valued and respected. Trust is not something that is given freely. It is a precious commodity that must be earned through actions and behaviours that demonstrate reliability and integrity. It is earned over time through consistent actions and behaviours. Each act of kindness, each moment of support, builds a stronger foundation of trust. When we trust someone, we make ourselves vulnerable to them. We share our deepest thoughts and feelings, our hopes and fears. We open ourselves up to the possibility of being hurt. This vulnerability is a risk, but it is also a necessary part of forming deep and meaningful connections. But we also open ourselves up to the possibility of deep connection and intimacy. Trust allows us to experience the joy of being truly known and accepted. Trust is a two-way street. It requires both parties to be trustworthy and to be willing to trust. It is a mutual exchange that strengthens the bond between individuals. It requires both parties to be trustworthy and to be willing to trust. This mutual exchange is what strengthens the bond between individuals, creating a resilient and enduring connection. When trust is present, relationships can flourish. We feel safe to be ourselves, to express our true thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. We feel safe to be ourselves. This sense of safety allows us to grow and thrive, both as individuals and as part of a community. We can communicate openly and honestly. Trust fosters an environment where open and honest communication can take place, leading to deeper understanding and stronger connections. We can support each other through difficult times. Trust enables us to lean on each other, to offer and receive support when we need it the most. Without trust, relationships are fragile. They are built on shaky ground, vulnerable to the slightest tremor of doubt or suspicion. We may constantly question the other person's motives. This constant questioning can erode the foundation of the relationship, leading to insecurity and instability. We may be afraid to be vulnerable. Without trust, we build walls around ourselves, keeping others at a distance to protect our hearts. We may struggle to communicate effectively. Misunderstandings and miscommunications become more common, creating a cycle of frustration and disconnection. But when trust is rebuilt, relationships can heal and grow stronger. It takes time and effort, but the rewards are worth it. Trust is the cornerstone of human connection. It is what allows us to build meaningful relationships, to feel truly connected to one another. It is the foundation upon which we build a life filled with love, joy, and fulfillment. Our brains are wired to assess trust. This intricate process involves multiple regions of the brain working in harmony to evaluate the trustworthiness of others. We use both logic and intuition to determine whether someone is trustworthy. Logic allows us to analyze facts and evidence, while intuition gives us a sense of what feels right. Our past experiences also play a significant role in shaping our ability to trust. Every interaction, every relationship leaves an imprint on our psyche. If we have been hurt in the past, we may be more cautious about trusting others. This caution is a protective mechanism designed to prevent us from experiencing the same pain again. Logic comes into play when we consider a person's past behavior. We look for patterns and consistency in their actions. Have they been reliable in the past? Have they kept their promises and followed through on their commitments? Do they have a reputation for being honest? What do others say about them? These logical assessments help us form a clearer picture. Intuition, on the other hand, is more about gut feelings. It's that inner voice that tells us whether something feels off or just right. Do we feel comfortable around this person? Do they seem genuine? Our intuition picks up on subtle cues that our conscious mind might miss. We also learn about trust through our experiences. From a young age, we observe and internalize the behaviors of those around us. As children, we learn to trust our caregivers. Their actions teach us what to expect from others. If our caregivers are consistently loving and responsive, we develop a secure attachment style. This foundation of trust allows us to build healthy relationships. This means that we are comfortable trusting others and forming close relationships. We feel safe and supported in our social interactions. However, if our caregivers are inconsistent or unreliable, we may develop an insecure attachment style. This can lead to difficulties in trusting others. This can make it more difficult for us to trust others in adulthood. We may struggle with forming close relationships and often feel wary of others' intentions. Understanding the interplay between logic, intuition, and experience can help us navigate the complexities of trust. By being aware of these factors, we can make more informed decisions about who to trust. Ultimately, trust is a delicate balance. It requires a combination of rational thought, gut feelings, and the lessons we've learned from our past. When we achieve this balance, we can build stronger, more meaningful connections with others. Trust is not just a cognitive process. It is also deeply emotional. When we trust someone, we feel safe and secure. We feel connected to them. We feel like we can be ourselves around them. This is because trust creates a sense of vulnerability. When we trust someone, we are essentially saying, "I am willing to be vulnerable with you." This is a risky proposition because it means that we could get hurt. However, vulnerability is also essential for connection. When we are vulnerable with someone, we allow them to see our true selves. This can lead to a deeper level of intimacy and connection. When we feel safe and connected to someone, we're more likely to trust them. This is because our brains release oxytocin, a hormone that promotes bonding and trust. Trust is influenced by our culture. What is considered trustworthy behavior in one culture may not be considered trustworthy in another. For example, in some cultures, it is considered rude to make direct eye contact. In other cultures, direct eye contact is seen as a sign of respect and trustworthiness. It's important to be aware of cultural differences when it comes to trust. What may seem like a harmless gesture to you could be interpreted as a sign of disrespect by someone from another culture. If you are unsure about something, it is always best to err on the side of caution. Ask questions and be respectful of other people's cultural norms. Speaking the language of trust, openness, honesty, and active listening. Communication is essential for building trust. When we communicate openly and honestly with each other, we build trust. We show each other that we are being authentic and that we are not afraid to be vulnerable. Active listening is also important. When we actively listen to someone, we show them that we respect them and that we care about what they have to say. Clear and direct communication is essential. Avoid being passive-aggressive or using sarcasm. These communication styles can erode trust. Instead, focus on expressing your needs and feelings directly and respectfully. The building blocks of trust: consistency, reliability, and integrity. Trust is built on a foundation of consistency, reliability, and integrity. Consistency means being the same person, no matter who you are with. It means acting in accordance with your values. Reliability means doing what you say you will do when you say you will do it. Integrity means being honest and ethical in all your dealings. When we are consistent, reliable, and have integrity, we show others that we are trustworthy. We demonstrate that we can be counted on. This builds trust over time. Trust in a digital world. Online identities, social media, and virtual relationships. The digital age has had a profound impact on the way we trust. Our interactions have shifted from face-to-face conversations to digital exchanges, making trust a more complex issue. With the rise of social media and online dating, we are now more likely than ever to interact with people we have never met in person. These platforms have opened up new avenues for connection, but they also come with their own set of challenges. This can make it difficult to assess trustworthiness. When we can't see someone's body language or hear their tone of voice, it becomes harder to gauge their intentions. Online, it is easy to create a false persona. People can hide behind screens and present themselves in ways that may not be entirely truthful. People can present themselves however they want. They can curate their online presence to show only the best parts of their lives, which can be misleading. This can make it difficult to know who to trust. The curated nature of online profiles can create a false sense of familiarity and trust. It is important to be discerning about the information we share online. We need to be mindful of our privacy settings and think carefully about what we post. We also need to be aware of the potential for catfishing and other online scams. These deceptive practices can have serious emotional and financial consequences. Despite the challenges, it is still possible to build trust online. Positive interactions and genuine connections can still be made. It just takes time and effort. Building trust online requires consistent and reliable communication. Be cautious about who you trust. Take your time to get to know someone before sharing personal information. Look for signs of trustworthiness such as consistency, reliability and integrity. These qualities are just as important online as they are in the real world. Remember, trust is built over time. By being cautious and discerning, we can navigate the digital world with confidence and build meaningful relationships. The price of betrayal. The emotional fallout of broken trust. When trust is broken, it can be incredibly painful. We may feel betrayed, hurt, and angry. We may feel like we can't trust anyone anymore. Betrayal can have a lasting impact on our relationships. It can make it difficult to trust people in the future. The emotional fallout of broken trust can be significant. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. It is important to allow ourselves time to heal after a betrayal. We need to process our emotions and learn to trust again.